ABC6 News 11 at 11 starts right now.
Right now at 11 at 11, 4 police officers involved in an altercation over the weekend have now been identified.
Plus, for a few hours today, it looked like Alan Fung would not have a primary challenger in his efforts to win the District 2 congressional seat. Tonight, that changed.
And the state of Rhode Island now in line to receive millions in federal money for pandemic-related costs. We'll get to those stories in just a few moments, but first tonight on 11 at 11, we're tracking breaking news out of Taunton. Taunton police confirming a shooting happening there in a neighborhood tonight. Police responded to the area of Mador Avenue just after 8 this evening. We're told a 44-year-old man was shot and then rushed to the hospital. No early word yet on his condition. Stay with ABC6 News on air and online for updates on this Taunton shooting. Now to our other top story tonight on 11 at 11. Residents in North Kingstown reacting to the news that one of their neighbors was arrested at his home this morning by the FBI. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm John DeLuca.
And I'm Tiffany Murphy. Authorities say he was part of a group of rioters at the Capitol on January 6th. The ABC6 News reporter Daniel Coates caught up with those neighbors tonight. He joins us live in the studio with more on this developing story. Daniel?
Yeah, Tiffany, Bernard Sir of North Kingstown is now facing several charges in connection to the Capitol riot, as the FBI says surveillance shows him repeatedly assaulting police officers. Today, I spoke with neighbors of the suspect reacting to the news.
I was friggin' shocked and upset.
Neighbors of Bernard Sir stunned just hours after FBI arrested him outside his North Kingstown home. Sir went before a judge Wednesday, facing several charges, allegedly assaulting officers during the January 6th Capitol riot.
They're crazies all around, I guess.
The FBI says after a review of his passport picture, they identified Sir through a hat on his social media page, matching surveillance footage from the riot. Neighbors in the area said they were completely blindsided.
I hope that they, lock him away. I mean, this is, he attacked our democracy. So, it's crazy. But, that's not the same thing as just being a danger to everyone around you immediately.
The 47-year-old was released on unsecured bond, forced to hand over his 12 guns and his passport. Sir, now the second Rhode Islander arrested in connection to January 6th. One neighbor said he has known Sir since he was a boy.
I'm telling you, he was a good kid. And he was married, he's got kids. And I don't think he wants to hurt his family. And I don't think he went there to riot, to do anything, to do any damage like those other protesters did over there.
The neighbor who did not give his name believes Sir got caught up in the insurrection.
This kid wasn't the type to go out and cause a problem like this. Like, some of these people went there peacefully, but there was another group that went there not peacefully. So he went there peacefully, like you or him or me would do. But a lot of other people were doing something different. They were making it look bad for them.
One condition of Sir's unsecured bond is that he is to keep his job at Rhode Island Atomic Energy Commission. The company tells ABC6 that he is currently on paid administrative leave. He is set to appear in court in Washington, D.C. as early as next week. In the newsroom, I'm Daniel Coates, ABC6 News.
Thanks, Daniel. In other news tonight, the Newport police officers involved in an altercation caught on video over the weekend have now been identified. Officer John Sullivan was on patrol outside of a bar when he saw Dennis Ingleson, quote, forcibly throw a silicone bar mat toward people walking down the sidewalk. A police report says Ingleson was asked to leave 5 times, but instead yelled at the officer and picked up the mat again. Officer Neil Sullivan then arrived to assist the other officer. That's when 22-year-old Christopher Adams tried to interfere with the arrest. Officers then responded with use of force to arrest Adams as well. No other details of this investigation were released.
A Rhode Island man and his girlfriend now facing felony charges for their alleged roles in the tragic death of an East Greenwich teenager. 17-year-old Olivia Passaretti was killed early on New Year's Day when her car was hit from behind and then pushed off the road. According to police, Aramis Segura sped off after hitting her. He and his girlfriend, Alicia Peckham, are now charged with leaving the scene of a deadly accident, along with a slew of other charges.
An Attleboro man is facing charges after allegedly going on a rampage at the beach on the Cape. 45-year-old Augusto DeRosa is facing nearly a dozen charges. According to Falmouth police, he assaulted beachgoers at Chappaqua Beach, slashed a tire, and then threatened someone with a knife. Then he took off and hid in a nearby boat before Mass State Police grabbed him. He's charged with assault and battery, assault with a dangerous weapon, and vandalizing property. He's being held without bail. Two beloved swans who lived on the Esplanade in Boston had to be euthanized after showing symptoms of bird flu. The mother and father swans were found in distress. They were captured by wildlife officials. Their 5 babies were taken this morning and they are being tested for bird flu. If they're healthy, they'll be kept together and rehabilitated. Once they can care for themselves, the Cape Wildlife Center says they'll be released back to the Esplanade. Let's get a check of our forecast and bring in Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Denoyer. What a gorgeous night we have.
Yeah, another beautiful evening. We just keep knocking them out of the park. The temperatures top out around 80 degrees during the day, and then we fall back comfortably into the 60s, though still a little warmer in Providence at 70 degrees. And though it was really nice here and there's just a few clouds, there were some showers and storms. They were ever so close, but they stayed north of the Mass Pike, which was expected. Areas on the North Shore right now getting a nice light show with some pretty intense thunderstorms that are moving through areas in North Boston right now. We have stayed dry and we'll continue to stay dry for tonight. Just a few passing clouds, otherwise mostly clear. Temperatures will fall back in the low to mid 60s. And then your out the door forecast tomorrow, let's do it again. Lots of sunshine. It's a quick warm up through the morning though, from 6 to 10. We jump all the way to the upper 70s by the time we get to 10. And by the afternoon, all locations, even at the beaches, will top out in the low to mid 80s. So a really nice day tomorrow, but we got to check out this 4th of July holiday weekend forecast. And we'll do that for you coming up in just a few moments. John.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Now to our focus on our schools. The deadline for families in the state to enter the Rhode Island pre-K lottery is next Wednesday. Now to enter, your child has to be 4 years old by September 1st and live in the community the pre-K program is located. Now when applying, you need an active email, working phone number, the child's legal name, date of birth, address, and monthly household income. You can apply by going to the Rhode website.
The Boston School Committee voting tonight on the district's next superintendent. The committee selecting Mary Skipper, the current superintendent of Somerville Public Schools. Skipper also worked for the Boston Public School District as a network superintendent of high schools. She also helped launch Tech Boston Academy and served as the founding headmaster of the school. The district's outgoing superintendent, Brenda Causilius, announced in February she'd be stepping down at the end of the school year. 2 members of the North Kingstown School Committee deciding not to run for re-election. Chairman Gregory Blasbog and Vice Chairwoman Lisa Hildebrand won't be running. This after the superintendent and assistant superintendent both left the district this year after an investigation into allegations of former boys basketball coach Aaron Thomas and alleged fat checks. The school committee has been under fire by the community as to why Thomas was able to stay in his position despite those allegations that dated back to the 1990s.
In local political news tonight, the Rhode Island Republican Party holding its convention this evening at Rhodes on the Patuxent in Cranston. And for a short time, former Cranston Mayor Alan Fung was the party's only candidate for the 2nd District congressional seat after former State Representative Bob Lancia dropped out of the race this afternoon. But ABC6 News has since learned about a last-minute primary challenge for Fung by political unknown Donald Robio. Also want to let you know Ashley Kalis receiving the party's endorsement for governor, Aaron Gukian for lieutenant governor.
FEMA will be reimbursing the state of Rhode Island more than $3 million for the cost of setting up temporary hospital facilities during the COVID-19 pandemic. Those 3 sites were set up at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, former Citizens Bank call center in Cranston, and former Lowe's store in Quonset, all helping to serve about 4,300 patients. The Massachusetts House of Representatives passing a bill tonight that would protect abortion providers and those seeking an abortion from actions taken by other states. The bill states that access to reproductive health care services and gender-affirming health care services is recognized and declared as a right secured by the Constitution of Laws of the Commonwealth. That bill passing the House on a 136-17 vote. It now heads to the Senate.
Now to an ABC6 News update. Hundreds of workers at Bally's Twin River Casino could go on strike this Friday after 93% of them voted to authorize a strike if a deal cannot be reached by then. The employees are looking for better pay and increased staffing.
We are prepared to strike. Significant impact. It'll be a significant impact. You won't get a drink. Service is going to decline dramatically. Customers are not going to be happy, I can imagine. As a cocktail server, walking through the floors, asking, people like, where have you been? How come I haven't seen a cocktail server? Well, there's not enough scheduled because they're refusing to schedule more people on, or the bartenders are being run ragged on a Friday and Saturday night.
ABC6 News did speak with representatives from the casino who say negotiations are ongoing and they do not comment on personnel matters.
Now to a focus on your health. Another New England state reporting its first probable case of monkeypox. New Hampshire's Department of Health and Human Services said they identified a resident in Rockingham County with the virus. At this time, the CDC is conducting tests to confirm if it is monkeypox. DHHS is contact tracing for that patient. Currently, 13 monkeypox cases were identified in Massachusetts and 1 case in Rhode Island. To consumer news tonight at 11, Providence Restaurant Weeks returns next month. 38 restaurants in Providence and across the state taking part in the event, which runs from July 10th until the 23rd. The restaurants will be offering deals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A full list of those restaurants can be found on our website, abc6.com.
Still to come tonight at 11, new poll numbers painting a bleak picture for President Biden. The stunning number of Democrats who feel the country is headed in the wrong direction.
Plus, history will be made tomorrow on the Supreme Court as Justice Breyer retires.
And one of the all-time PC greats will be sworn into the Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame. Tonight, a look at what made Jimmy Walker so special and years ahead of his time. You're watching ABC6, Southern New England's trusted news source. In national news tonight, most Americans do not approve of the job President Biden is doing. A new CNN poll showing his approval rating is now 38%. The president is doing worst on the economy. Only 28% of Americans approve of his handling of it. He's also not doing well on guns either, with just a 36% approval rating. The pandemic, though, is President Biden's strong spot at this point anyway, with 53% saying they approve of the job he's doing. Now, overall, that poll showing 85% of Americans say the country is headed in the wrong direction. That's a jump from 78% just last month. And also want to mention, of that 85%, 78% of Democrats feel that way, the highest number since Biden took office. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer announcing today he will be stepping down from the bench at noon on Thursday. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson will then become the nation's first black female Supreme Court justice when she is sworn in tomorrow. Justice Breyer was appointed in 1980 by President Carter. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle reacting to the shocking congressional testimony yesterday by Cassidy Hutchinson.
The top aide to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows alleges former President Trump knew some of his supporters on January 6th had weapons, but that he didn't care. ABC's M. Wynn has the latest from D.C.
Extraordinary. That's what some lawmakers are calling Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony before the January 6th House Select Committee. Some Republicans calling it sobering and credible. In bombshell testimony, the 26-year-old aide to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows alleged then President Trump knew some of his supporters had weapons on January 6 but didn't care, demanding his armed supporters be allowed to attend the rally without having to go through metal detectors and then march freely to the Capitol from there.
I got 3 men walking down the street in fatigue while carrying AR-15, copy at 14th and Independence.
Just to be clear, Ms. Hutchinson, is it your understanding that the president wanted to take the mags away and said that the armed individuals were not there to hurt him?
That's a fair assessment.
Committee member Adam Schiff calling those revelations shocking.
To me, that's the most powerful evidence we have yet of the president's knowledge that the crowd was armed, his willingness to bring that armed mob to the Capitol and incite what followed.
Liz Cheney, vice chair of the committee, also said they're seeing evidence of witness tampering.
I think most Americans know that attempting to influence witnesses to testify untruthfully presents very serious concerns.
Hutchinson also accused Meadows and Trump's lawyer Rudy Giuliani of asking Trump for pardons in connection to the January 6th insurrection, but both men have denied that claim.
M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
The Select Committee has subpoenaed former White House counsel Pat Cipollone for testimony as part of the committee's investigation. Hutchinson had named Cipollone in her testimony, saying he raised legal concerns about Trump's actions on January 6th and the days before. A lawyer familiar with his deliberations tells ABC News in part, now that a subpoena has been issued, it'll be evaluated as to matters of privilege that might be appropriate. The Rice's fire in California so far destroying 4 homes and another 540 are threatened. California has put 700 firefighters on the front lines of that blaze that's burning in Nevada County. That's near Bridgeport. It's estimated that nearly 800 acres have been charred so far. That fire currently 0% contained, and there is concern it could spread quickly into Yuba County.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Denoyer.
Conditions in the next 24 hours will only enhance that fire, most likely, unfortunately. Traffic forecast for Thursday. Right now, if the commute was happening right this minute, 11:17 p.m., it's nice out there. It'll be nice tomorrow, too. Sunny and warm, looking good. Green lights go morning, noon, and for the evening commute as well, as it looks like it'll be a nice another sunny day. We just keep them coming one after another. Temperatures right now in the 60s, holding 70 in Providence, 68 in Westerly, 66 in Newport, and New Bedford 66 as well. Very nice, comfortable air mass in place from Maine all the way down into D.C. The really hot stuff is behind me, and that will eventually work into the area by the end of the week. So an upgrade on temperature and also humidity for Friday. It doesn't last long, but Friday will feel like a very summer-like day with the humidity tracker increasing on Thursday at night, and then here for us on Friday and Saturday, and then back to being low again on Sunday. So there has to be some kind of transition here. You don't even need to see like a surface map to see that. You see increasing, probably a warm front's lifting north, and then when it drops on Sunday, there's gonna have to be some cold front that comes through. It's not that it really makes a big difference in temperature, but what it does is it brings some rain and adjusts the air mass and how it feels for you as we go into the weekend. So right now, dry. There's some showers and thunderstorms racing through North Boston right now and into southern New Hampshire. And these were expected to stay north of the Mass Pike, and they behaved well. And therefore, we stay dry. And as we go into the night, it's generally clear, drop back to around 60, and then bounce back to the 80s tomorrow. Everybody gets up into the 80s with a light northwest wind, mostly sunny skies, 81 in Newport, 82 in Burrillville, and 81 in Westerly. Southeastern Mass, lots of sunshine, enjoy. Temperatures for the Cape and Islands and maybe even portions of Eastern Mass go upper 70s, but the rest of our forecast area, especially Bristol County, topping out in the low to even mid-80s. So it's a warm day, not a humid day, but another day of abundant sunshine, which is nice. There's your temperature. Wake up in the morning about 62, warming very quickly that by noon, most locations will already have tapped into 80 degrees, and that's where we'll stay for the afternoon and looking good for Thursday. Another beach day. I think I've used this graphic in June more than I ever have in any June I've ever worked here. It's unbelievable. Almost every day is like a beach day, and if it's not a beach day, it's a golf day or a pool day, or if you're lucky enough to have Thursdays off, it's a day just to be outside and enjoy the sun. Go into Friday, we know it's going to be hot and humid, but what about the weekend? That's a big part of the forecast. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for Saturday. I'll time those out for you on Futurecast in a moment. And then I think Sunday's looking better, and Monday, July 4th, has always looked good. Temperatures in the 80s, and overall 2 out of 3 days. So we have one frontal boundary that moves through tonight into tomorrow morning. Doesn't bring any rain, just a few clouds tonight. That's about it. Humid on Friday. Here comes that next round of rain. Now, the way it will play out is likely some showers throughout the morning on Saturday, but the chances throughout the day on Saturday will increase. More in the way of showers and thunderstorms as we go into the evening hours. I think the target time for some of the heaviest of rainfall will be between about 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. And then the front will clear the coast, take the rain with it, take the clouds with it, and that's how you get a really nice Sunday and a really nice 4th of July. And then it keeps on going for the middle part of next week. Tuesday and Wednesday look good. Maybe just a little bit of cloud cover mixing in with sun at times, but overall nice. Temperatures either side of the 80 degrees. Nick.
Thank you, Jeff. Red Sox look to avoid the sweep tonight in Toronto. It was dramatic, back and forth, while the Yankees look to complete their sweep this afternoon in the Bronx. Highlights of both games next. And a special recognition coming soon for a PC legend. Ian Steele talks with the voice of the Friars, John Rook, about Jimmy Walker. That and more coming up next in sports.
A spokesperson for the Roger Williams Park Zoo wants to let everyone know their critically endangered red-walled pup, Saluda, had her first health exam today and is as healthy as could be. The 2-month-old had her heart, lungs, and mobility checked out, then received a microchip and vaccines. Weighing in at 9 pounds, the vet for the zoo says she is just right in her development, and you might be able to get a glimpse of her at your next visit to the zoo. They say she is actively exploring her environment. That'll be a very popular site right there. Hello, Saluda. Thank you so much for staying up with us tonight. Good night. Sleep well.